I present to you Mr. Joe Estes.
Hello. Can you hear me now?
Yes, talk into your sleeve.
Let me just get this tuned in for the screen. I've done a few presentations here, and I wanted to change it up a little bit. Oftentimes I've gone through my services and whatnot, but I just want to actually get into a few of the flagship sites that we've done in the last year or whatever. So, and then I'll also get into questions, so keep your questions in your mind and fresh. This is a perfect example of what we do. This is a company called Leverage Bids, and they had a crazy idea. They were some kids in the Midwest, and they had relationships with farmers and also the buyers who actually buy the commodities from those farmers. And it's an interesting problem that they have over there, and that's actually the buyers really bully around the farmers because it's so localized, and they are at the mercy of those buyers. The buyers particularly determine the point. You've experienced this, Tricia? Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, so they're in Arkansas. And we thought, okay, well, we can change that up with technology. And so what we did is we created the eBay for farmers. And so what it does is it empowers all these farmers to be able to put their crops on here and have the buyers go through them. And they can go, and you can see from the site, they can go through the different crops. And this has some of the standard stuff we put. It has a blog. We show some of the featured commodities. So we have farmers selling rice and soybeans and long grain rice and cotton and Milo and lots of different things on there. But this has really changed the industry. It's changing things up. This is exactly where we like to be. We are on the brink of a lot of disruptive technologies. Does anyone raise your hand if you've heard the term disruptive technology? Okay, so disruptive technology is when something that is seemingly less high-powered than something that's established, say big companies, is overtaken by that. So the example was, the bubble jet printer overtook Xerox. Xerox looked at it and thought, this thing doesn't print as well. It's never going to compete with us, but instead, they didn't see it coming. Consumers didn't want that. They wanted just something cheap and that they could print decently and whatnot. And so that's what we are empowering these farmers with. Let me get into the marketplace, because this is what is really cool about this site, is that you can go through and the buyers can go through and tune this into exactly what they want. Actually, you need to register for this. But what they can do is they can put the price, the location they want to go to, and they can really hone this down. And then there's a whole back-end admin system that they can be alerted when prices meet what they want to pay. It was just a really interesting project, especially since we do a lot of the same projects. This one was really interesting. Any questions on that one so far? No? Okay. The next
How do they deliver?
How do we deliver?
Yeah, how do you deliver if somebody orders this?
So you don't actually order the supplies. It's just the meeting place for the buyer and the farmer. They go through and they have to. That's why the location is a key component of the search within this. That if you're in a different country, it's not going to make the deal so sweet. So you still want someone in a general locality. Next, we have a site that we put together called Innovator's Edge, and this is a meeting place for a new term that's come about called insurtechs. And insurtechs are insurance startup companies, and they're really popping up all over the place. One example is a company called We Go Look, and they've brought Uber, the Uberization model to actual claims and looking up things. So the founder had an idea. She was buying an eBay item and she didn't know what it really looked like, and she thought, wow, it'd be great if I could, fly there and look at it and determine what it was before I bought it, but she couldn't. So instead, she put an ad on Craigslist and said, can someone go look at this and answer these 5 questions for me, take some pictures, and send it back. And that was the start of We Go Look. They just were acquired by Crawford, which is a huge insurance company, to do that. And so there's a lot of these insurance companies that are changing up the insurance industry. Through another company I have called Insurance Thought Leadership, where we feature the biggest names in insurance. We have relationships with the big insurance carriers. And so what we've done is we've created a matchmaking platform for companies. And you can see here, it's a full-blown social network where individuals can comment on these, but it's for companies specifically. So these insurtech companies like GapPro is one. Refer.com, which is actually pretty similar to, it's the online version of Latip. You should check it out sometime. Refer.com, GapPro. These companies, here's We Go Look. This is the company I just mentioned. They go on here and they can fill out surveys, and then they have the ability to be matched with different insurtechs. So this, again, has really disrupted the insurance industry because the big insurance companies, there's a tsunami of innovation that's come about, and the big insurance companies don't know how to deal with it. And then the insurtechs are so small, they don't know how to get a meeting with these big established insurance carrier providers. So what we've done is create a subscription model and then match make both of them. It's been really successful. And this is sort of the management system that they go through and do that with. The last example, how am I doing on time, Kevin? Good?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, just good.
3 minutes.
Okay, the last one a few of you saw is an example of our e-commerce model. And these are where you can buy individual items. And so this is Brainiac Coffee. This is an example where shows that you can actually go through and you can check out in a cart. You can go through and you can see, so you can go through, you can log in, you can create an account, have a regular subscription for coffee. You can have, you can go ahead and look at all the different coffee varieties. And then when you find one you like, you can go ahead and click on these. You can add this to your cart. And then it shows up in your cart. You can check out just your standard e-commerce model, but just another example of what we do in that regard. But we really like the way this site turned out, just because it's clean. It's really emblematic of what we've done with our design and also the programming and also the e-commerce all coming together. So with that, any questions? Yeah.
So when you think of all these extensions, .tv, .hollywood, do you think there's a brand to these alternatives, or still .com?
.com is...
Joe, would you repeat that so we can hear the question?
He says, what is there something to these other domain suffixes, or is .com the suffix you want to go for? I would say .com is the suffix you want to go if you have a first choice. This one is actually .coffee, but we also have .com as well. So .com is some very sought after real estate. Very hard. Everything is bought up. In fact, all the IP addresses, if you know, they're all gone. We switched over to a new, even different type of IP naming, just because. We're 15 years into the commercial internet and whatnot, so everything's taken. So I would say there's nothing wrong with it with the suffixes, but if you have a first choice, go with the .com first. Yeah.
About .net?
.net, no.
.tv?
.tv is cool.
Can you give us the order of which, the most important to the last?
Yeah, it's .com, and then .net is just no. .co is very in vogue. It was just the original. Everyone knows that you've really gone through, because you can go through and buy it, and you can purchase that, and knows that you've actually taken a stake in what you're doing. You've paid for it, and you're an established company. That's why.
So I'm sure that we have a lot more questions for Joe. Please see him. Please see him after the meeting. I have one question. What because I don't get people coming up to me and say, hey, I need a website. Who's a good web designer? What sort of things should I be listening for? What sort of things should we be listening for that would indicate a good tip for you?
So I've mentioned this a few times. Anyone starting anything new. So individuals that are starting things new, that have new ideas, even it is great to bounce them off of me. I can tell them if it's realistic or not, and often it leads to all sorts of collateral work for everyone in the group. So that's a good jumping off point for me. If they have a new idea, starting something new, I'd love to meet them.
Great. So, and that's one thing that I really appreciate about you, Joe. You're not just a web designer. You're not just looking to throw some stuff up on the internet. You really are an innovator of technology. So thank you so much for your presentation. Please, a big round of applause for Joe. Back to you, Jennifer.